Hey, Facebook friends, Jonathan Saenz here, president of Texas Values and also Texas Values Action. We're here on the floor of the convention here in San Antonio, the Republican Party of Texas convention. This is, I'm told, the largest political event and conference in the world. Okay, you're gonna have almost 10,000 people here. And this is Texas, so you know how big we do things. And I've got my friend here, Chip Roy, who's running for Congress. He's also distinguished himself. He was the former chief of staff for U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, whose booth is right next to ours. On the other side of our booth is Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. So if you haven't made it out here yet, even if you're a guest, you don't have to be a delegate, come on out, join the fun, meet a lot of people, learn about the election process, learn about faith, family, and freedom. Chip, we're glad you're going to be here with us. Talk with us a little bit. I know you've probably been very active. You got a chance to catch your breath recently after winning the nomination in the runoff, and so probably been a busy year for you. But look, you're a Texas guy. I mean, you worked for the U.S. Senator. I mean, you've been around. You've done a lot of great things. I mean, I just feel a lot of energy and enthusiasm during this year. How are you feeling? You're coming right off the campaign trail.
No, I'd love, first of all, thanks for doing this. Thanks for having me here, and thanks for the endorsement of Texas Values. It meant a lot getting through the campaign. And, you know, we've got a great group here in the convention, and folks that are watching this, get on down if you can. Enthusiastic group, high energy, and I'm very optimistic about what things are looking like in Texas. This notion of a blue wave, where the advancement of liberal values, they're not the values of Texas. Texans and the Texans around here are energized to make sure that we preserve and protect what we want to in this country by having Texas lead. Yeah. And people say as Texas goes, so goes the United States.
That's right. Well, look, and it's a big responsibility. We feel it sometimes, right, as Texans. You know, even though we're confident about our abilities and lead, there's also that responsibility that says, you know, we need to know what we're doing because we intend to lead. And I know you've done a lot of great work. You worked at Texas Public Policy Foundation and the 10th Amendment Center. Yeah. I mentioned how you were chief of staff up in D.C. You've seen this state dynamic, the national dynamic, and now you've been out on the campaign trail. What kind of feedback are you getting from people in the grassroots that are Texans? What is it they want from elected officials?
Well, I think you're seeing a lot of people that are really excited about what's been happening over the last 16 to 18 months, right? Getting a tax bill across the finish line. Really importantly, the 21 circuit court judges that we've now got in place that are solid constitutionalists. The Fifth Circuit, in particular here in Texas, the United States Supreme Court Justice. These are all things that the people of Texas care intently about. Moving the embassy to Jerusalem. I mean, what better statement could you have for the values that we all hold here in Texas? So people want that to continue, and they know that if Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House or Chuck Schumer's running the Senate, that it won't continue. So that's why people are fired up.
And there is a difference. I mean, and you talk about the U.S. Supreme Court. We're here on the convention floor. We're here with Chip Roy, who's a candidate for U.S. Congress. He won a runoff election recently, but he also was chief of staff for U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, did some work at the state level, Texas Public Policy Foundation. You talked about, Chip, the Supreme Court recently, some judges that came in. We had a huge Supreme Court decision recently with these Masterpiece Cake Bake Shop decision for religious freedom. I know that's something you care a lot about, religious freedom.
No, that's right. I mean, look, religious liberty is obviously one of our fundamental tenets as Americans, and the Second Amendment and other important amendments, the 10th Amendment. Religious liberty, you know, what we got out of the Masterpiece decision was great with respect to what it meant for the plaintiff, what it meant for his ability to exercise his rights as an American. But, you know, we got to go further. We need a Congress that's going to step up and reinforce that and not allow Anthony Kennedy or any of the judges to kind of take that and go the wrong direction. So we need a Congress that's going to get up there and add more meat to the bone and make sure our religious liberty is protected. That animates me a lot to run.
Well, and look, there's a lot of attention and expectation that this Congress can make those things happen, or the next one, because of some of the leadership on religious liberty you see at the White House with President Trump, some of the nominees. And if you hear some noise on the side, some tapping, there's a very active game of cornhole going on at our booth, because this is a family-friendly zone.
That's right.
And that does include my family, my children, who are throwing some cowboy beanbag toss around. But come down to the convention. But you're absolutely right, Chip, on what people are expecting, what they're seeing, and what I think they believe this Congress is capable of, which you haven't been able to say maybe in the past 4 to 8 years.
We've got the opportunity right now of a lifetime. We really do, and we just need a Congress that will step up and fill the hole. And we've got so much enthusiasm in order to get back to the health care freedom we deserve, make sure we maintain religious liberty and the Second Amendment protections by getting the judges in place, pass good laws. make sure we balance the budget, all the things, the Texas values, the things we do right here in the Texas
Did you hear what he said?
legislature.
He said Texas
That's
value.
right.
That's awesome.
That's right. You slide those in every once in a while. But you know what? But you joke, and that's important, but it's true. It's our
absolutely
values that are leading the country. And Texas, as Texas goes, so does the country.
That's right. And it's not just the name, it's not the branding, it is what we're about. Chip, thanks for stepping by.
Thanks for
stopping
doing
by.
this.
He'll be here at the convention. You want to come by
Come
and
on
say
down.
hello to him. So appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have Senator Donna Campbell join us just a minute. We're going to have Chip Boy pass the mic to us and exit stage right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. There you go.
And we're going to have Senator Campbell come in just a minute. I see her in her yellow dress that she loves to wear. She's ready to step into the booth here and say hello. Chip, I think you might have dropped something here. We'll pass this on. And here comes Senator Campbell. We're just on the fly here. Senator Campbell, come on, have a seat. We'll let you take the mic here wherever you want to attach it. Senator Donna Campbell, my senator. I am I'm a real person. I live somewhere. I vote also, so I live in your district,
my constituent.
in Hays County. So I am a constituent. But you know, the issues of faith, family, and freedom are something that we care about. We know you care about. You're very active out in the district, and so, and I know you're looking forward to what's going to happen this legislative session. Not that anything's taken for granted in November, but really a lot of enthusiasm about the issues we care about these days.
Well, there are, and I think that's it's not really any different. We're just we're being more courageous, to be able to step up, be bold, and stand for our faith, our values, and so making a stand for that gives us more momentum. So it does look like that, but it's very important. It couldn't be more important to stand for our faith right now. Like the story of Esther, right? Her people were at risk. Our people are at risk. Took a lot of courage, but she stood up to go in front of the king and ask permission, and ends up saving her people. That's an example of one person with their faith going forward in courage to make a difference for their people.
Sure. Well, speaking of one person, Jack Phillips is one person. He won a U.S. Supreme Court decision last week on a major religious liberty issue on a case to make sure that the government was punishing him because his religious beliefs about marriage between a man and a woman. He had a private bake shop. I think, Senator Campbell, I saw you put a statement out saying that you were excited and encouraged by the Supreme Court upholding religious liberty in this situation.
Exactly. Well, we have to applaud anytime the justices make a good decision for the rights, our religious freedom, our rights.
Well, and you know, you've carried legislation before on religious liberty in the Texas Senate. We've seen a lot of votes. We've seen the Senate taking care of business on the religious liberty issue, passing numerous pieces of legislation, passing some legislation that the House never even took up. And so I know that's something that you care about. I think we go back into next legislative session in 2019 when you've got people like Angela Paxson and others that are joining the Senate. There's going to be a lot of interest with the leadership from our Lieutenant Governor, who we know cares about the religious liberty issue. I see that as something that's going to get a lot of attention and continued support. So what would this be for you going back to the Senate? This would be your third term? What would we be looking at?
Yes.
Right.
It doesn't even seem like we've had a break. So
Yes.
It just seems like it all runs together.
Yes. Well, and I know y'all do some interim charge hearings
Yes.
that have been very important. There was one on religious liberty back in, I believe, February, and there was a woman from East Texas who has a bake shop who was attacked because of her religious views on marriage. So we know this issue is even touching the state of Texas, and I think a lot of people are hoping, we'll see something done about that.
Well, I absolutely believe our Lieutenant Governor leads the way to help, and he's bold and leads the way so that we will have doors open and we can file legislation to protect our faith, our religious liberty, the values that we hold so dear in Texas.
Well, and let's talk about other values that we're a part of. Pro-life is an issue that's very important to you. As a woman, as a physician, you have such a powerful voice and you don't hold it back, which is good. We know that the issue of life is something that unites so many of us. I know that's something you care about, and I know that's something you're able to talk with people about. You know, we've got some court battles going on some legislation that we care about that's pro-life, but I see so many people, so many youth that are getting more in touch of it. You've got a young lady that's a part of your family, your daughter, who I know is here with us, that you care about. I'm encouraged by where I think the life movement is going. How do you feel about it?
Well, you gotta rejoice anytime you see more movement for supporting innocent life. And you know, we've got it in our platform that we support life. You know, we are going to protect life from conception to natural death. And life is made in the image of God. So we got to support that. And Lord help the man who wants to come against the Lord, right? So I think we will see strength in legislation to continue to protect life, and on our platform also.
Well, and I'm excited too. We're going to be talking about these issues later this year. We're having our first ever policy conference September 7th through 8th in the Austin area. If you want to come out, you can register up for our policy conference at txvalues.org. We're going to be helping people get prepared of what to expect in the legislative session. We're going to have people like David B. Wright, who started the 40 Days for Life campaign so many years ago here in Texas. And as a matter of fact, speaking of events, tomorrow, if you're around, Senator Campbell, at 12:30, we're going to be eating cake here at the Texas Values booth in celebration of the religious freedom victory for Masterpiece Cake Shop at the U.S. Supreme Court last week. Senator Campbell, thanks for stopping by today.
Always.
We're glad for you to say hello.
Yes.
Senator Donna Campbell, my Texas senator from Central Texas. So appreciate you, Senator Campbell.
Absolutely.
She's going to exit stage right, go back to her booth.
Well, you've got a great,
Yes, ma'am.
You do a great job helping us. I mean, I've called you numerous times for your help whenever I'm putting forth legislation. And thank you for that.
Yes.
That makes a big difference.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you were able to put in the time. I know I've called you at all hours.
I'm always
Thank
available.
you.
And Senator Campbell was a faith and family champion for Texas Values Action last legislative session because of her strong voting record and her voice on the issues of faith, family, and freedom.
Well, and not just as a woman of faith, but even as a doctor.
Yes.
It makes a big difference.
Well,
So many fronts.
and
We've
that's
got to protect.
and that's a
life
voice
and
we
our liberty.
continue to need more, that a lot of people don't. They try to sometimes ignore. They don't know. They want to highlight some other women, I guess, and they kind of forget about your voice. Also, Senator Colcourse and many others. So you always have a platform with us.
Thank you very much again.
Yes,
Thank you,
have a good
Jonathan.
afternoon, Senator Campbell. Good to see you. We're going to have Mike Toth come and visit with us later. Also, Attorney General Ken Paxton is going to come by the booth here and say hello. We're on the floor of the convention here in San Antonio, Republican Party of Texas Convention. You don't have to be a delegate to come by and say hello. Come check us out, and we'll be back in just a little bit with our next segment.